So we're gonna begin. Well, welcome to day one, week 16 of our journey here together. Again, this is day one, week 16 of our journey, and we're gonna continue where we left off yesterday. Why say yesterday? Not yesterday. Last week, Thursday. So we were still dealing with cumulative frequency. And it's very easy, when you really think about it, it's very easy. Um, so let's continue. So the last time we were here, we had to construct or finish really. Um, and we just had to basically add. I remember when we say cumulative. Anyone remember what that means? When we say cumulative.
You overall are going to add them up together.
Sorry.
Yeah, when you add all together. So what it is, it's an accumulation really, right? So one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. All right. And so what we do is for this one to get the cumulative frequency. So we already have the frequency. Frequency is how much times it occurs. Yes, mom?
You want to write, because last class you didn't say not to write, just take a picture.
Oh yeah. Again, the same thing applies. Don't write it because unless you write very fast, you can simply take a picture, a screenshot of it. For now, I'll let you know when to write. And so I'm just revising now. So cumulative frequency, excuse me, that's just the running total. All right. So and then the frequency is just how much time something happened within a given interval. So between 0 and 10 minutes, this happens 5 times. Like 5 people are between 0 and 10 minutes late. All right. And then between 10 to 20 minutes late, we have 8 people who are between 10 to 20 minutes late. And then we have 22 people who are between 20 and 30 minutes late, and so on. Now, the cumulative frequency is when you add all of the frequencies one after the other. So first we start with 5. There's nothing before 5, so we just have to write 5 there. Then the next thing is well, this one, and now that you get this one, what we do? We add what? To get this one, we add what?
8 plus 5.
8 and 5, and that gives us 13. And then to get this third one, we add 13 to
22.
We get 35. And then for this one, for this block, we add 35 to 12, and that gives us what?
44. One number off.
Say it again.
I said I was one number off. I had to say 46.
Oh, okay. And then we add 47 to 8, and that gives us what?
55.
5, and then we add 5 to 55, and that gives us
60.
That gives us 60. Okay, so that's the cumulative frequency for this particular data. Now,
See, would you ever have to find the upper limit where they give you everything else?
Here they give us the upper limit, and the upper limit is very easy because the upper limit is just the upper bound. So that's just the you notice that this goes from each class goes from 0 to 10, right? And like each class goes from a lower bound to upper bound. And so when they say upper limit, they just mean these numbers. Okay.
I actually asked the wrong question. It's supposed to be the frequency because I was thinking of the one you had.
The frequency. Now, would they ever ask you? I mean, you can't make up your own data, like. So they have to give you that, you know. They have to give you that. Okay, so. Okay, so what else? All right, so after that, so that's what we did last week, And then from that, we plotted. And so we use the frequency and the cumulative frequency to plot our graph. And so that's how we got it. And we were able to plot a curve, isn't it? Not a straight line, but a curve. And so it's a curve straight through it, right? And so that's how it goes. And then we ask, so remember, so that means that for the homework, I also wanted you to construct a curve with it, right? Not just give me the cumulative frequencies, but I also wanted you to construct the curve, right? Remember that then we need to find the median. The median is going to be half of 60, right? And that's 30.
30.
30, but the x value corresponding to 30, so that's going to be,
30.
it's going to be this one. It's going to be 27. And then we have, the lower quartile, and that's a fourth of 60. So that's 60 divided by 4, which is 15. And so that's going to be, we're going to look at the x value associated with that.
21.
Wait, let me allow this person to come in. Balance. Okay. So the x value associated with that would be 21. Very good, Miss Cooper. 21. And then the upper quartile is going to be 75% of 60. Sorry, so it's going to be what? 60 divided by 4 times 3. So that'll give us 45. Okay.
I just don't say that.
So that's that. That's 3/4, and it corresponds to the x value of
30.
30. 38. Okay, so that's us. Now the interquartile range, right? The interquartile range is going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So it's going to be 38 minus 21. All right. Again, 38 minus 21. And that was what?
What you say?
38. Sorry, 38 minus 21 was what?
Oh, 17.
17, yeah. And so that was the interquartile range. 17 minutes. All right, and this is what I want y'all to do. Wanted y'all to do for the homework. Find the cumulative frequencies, do the curves, do the curve, and then plot the points, do the curve, and then find the median, upper quartile, lower quartile, and the quartile range. So let's just review how we already did all of this. So now let's go to the question for homework. And if you did it, you can mark it as we do the answers. Okay, so this right here is each class. So the example is that a PE teacher records the distance jumped by each of 70 pupils. All right, so the PE teacher records the distance jumped by each of his 70 pupils, right? Pupils means what? What's a pupils another word for?
Students.
Students, yeah. Not pupils as in eye pupils, but students. Now, so this teacher is recording how far they jumped. And so anyone understand what this is trying to say? We have, what is it trying to say?
What you say?
What does this class mean? What is it trying to say?
Anyone who pass between 180 and 190.
What did they do? between one, what did they do?
Jump between
Yeah,
the distance they jump between 180 and 190.
very good. So D is between 180 and 190, but it's very important to note that 190 is not included in this one. So I hope you see that, like, look carefully. It could be, but it's between 180 and 190, but inclusive of 180. So 180 is included, but 190 is not included. The reason why 190 is not included is because it doesn't have the bar underneath. And so um, this represents the distance that the student jump that is between 180 and 190, inclusive of 180. That is including 180. And so the number of students who jumped between 180 and 190 centimeters, right, was how much?
2.
Was 2. So 2 students jumped up. Then we have number of students who jumped between 190 and 200, inclusive of 190, is how much?
6.
6. Very good. The upper bound here is 190. The upper bound here is 200. And the upper bound is just basically these numbers here. Okay. All right. And then we have the number of students between 200 and 210, 210 and 200. The number of students who jump between 200 and 210, 210 and 220, 220 and 230, 230 and 240, 240, 250, 250 and 260. And the number of students associated with that would be 9, 7, 15, 18, 8, and 5. So with that, we have to figure what is the cumulative frequency of this data. And so how are we going to do it? What's going to be the first number
2.
for this one? By the way, you don't have to write this down. Just make sure I take the screenshot because it's going to be too much to write down. So the first number that goes here is 2, y2 here.
So you're doing 2 plus 0 because you're not adding it.
Yeah, and nothing that's before, so we just have 2. The next thing, how do we get this number?
You add 6 and 2.
6 and 2, it gives us
8.
8. And then 8 plus 9 gives us
17.
17. Very good. And 17 and 7 gives us what?
24.
24. Very good. And then 24 and 15 gives us what?
39.
Say it again.
39.
39. Very good. And then 39 and 18 plus 18 gives us what?
57.
57. And then 57 and 8 gives us what?
65.
65. And 65 plus 5 gives us
70.
70.
70.
Okay. And so this is our cumulative frequencies. So we use number of pupils is the frequency here, and the cumulative frequency is this paper. And so this is how we create our cumulative frequency, by adding up our frequencies. All right. Any questions on this? Or we understand it?
You think I understand?
Okay, good. Now let's draw the graph. Okay, so remember that our frequencies go here. So this number of pupils, and then you have our cumulative frequency. I don't like how they do it like this. They should have. I don't know why they do it like this. What they should have had was how they had it last time, so you can actually see what's happening. So you want your. I wonder if they have it. No, they don't have it. Okay. What you want is you want your upper bound. Your upper bounds goes with the cumulative frequency. Always remember that.
What you say?
Your upper bounds. You see the ones in red, and you see the ones in red.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Your upper bound goes with your cumulative frequency.
Okay.
So your upper bound. So that's how you plot it. Okay.
Mm.
So the first thing we're gonna plot is 190 and 2. So we go on our x-axis and we plot out 190 and 190 and then 2. So if this is 10, right, and then this is 5,
Would it be like nails on top of the line, like we
yeah,
call
that would
it?
be
Right there, I guess.
the wheels have turned. Very good. So 190 and 2, and then we have 208. 208, so it should be somewhere here, right? Because this is 200 and 8 is somewhere around here. So it's going to be this. And then we have 210 and 17. 210 and 17 is going to be, I want you to construct this graph to get a feel of how to draw the curve. So just the graph. You don't have to do the table, but the graph for sure. Construct that. So 210 and 17. So just 210 and then now you're going to go 17. 17 should be somewhere here. Alright, 17 and then 220 and 24. So 220 and 24. This is 25. 24 will be somewhere here. Voila. And then we have 230 and 39. So this is 230. We go all the way up to 39. That'll be somewhere here. Right there. And then we have 240 and 57. So this is 240. Go all the way up to 57. 57 should be somewhere here. That's 57. And then we have 250 and 65. So 250, go all the way up to 65. To 65. I know 65 should be right now. And then finally, 260 and 70, all the way up there. Good. Good. Now we draw our curve. Alright, how should a curve look? Is it a straight line?
Yes, sir.
No, it's a curve, so it goes like that. Alright. Good. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
No, sir, that's straightforward.
Straightforward.
What about where I find the quarter of it and something like that?
Yeah, we come in the right now. It's
Okay.
alright. It's amazing how we could say it's straightforward now. Last week it's like, why? What is this? We're about
That's
to
better than circle theorem.
say it again.
That's better than circle theorem.
It's better than circle theorem for real?
Yes.
For me.
What? I love circle theorem. What? You say this better than circle theorem? What do you think, Floyd? Do you think this better than circle theorem? Mr. Bethel?
Mine's easy, don't make it hard.
Mine's easy though. Alright, I love that.
And of course, you say what you said.
But circle theorem is, I see a point regardless. Circle theorem requires a little bit more thought. Like it's like you gotta know your theorems and you know you gotta know your theorems, boy, and then not only know your theorems but know how to apply it.
And see it as well.
Yeah, and see it. Okay, so now we need the median. How are we gonna figure out the median?
Find the middle. Middle of it.
So what is 70 divided by 2?
35.
35.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be that.
That's a curve?
Say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Bgcse.
That's 70 divided by 2. So for the median, we need to figure out, so where we get is that we say 70 divided by 2. So that's half of 70. That gives us 35. But that's not the median. The median is going to be the x value associated with 75. So that's going to be, we got to go down, right? If we go down, 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 and down, what do we get?
227.
Yeah, for 227.
28.
Yeah,
Yes.
227 median. So the median is 227. All right. And so it's an estimate. Next up we have we want the lower quartile. So the lower quartile will be have to do with 70. To get the lower quartile.
Then you divide and add something.
No, for the lower quartile, it's what?
1/4.
1/4. So 70 divided by 4, which is what? 70 divided by 4, what that is?
17.5.
We get 17.5 or 17 and a half. Okay.
17.5 or half.
Yeah. Yeah, 17.5 or 17 and a half. So that'll be somewhere here, right? No, somewhere like here. So we want 17.
It's between you and the 30 area.
Yeah, it's in the 30 area. All right, then you gotta find the number corresponding to go down. So that'll be
22.
200. It's 210. So this one will be 212. Okay. Remember, draw the graph for me. But the other stuff you could take a picture of. And
You say that off.
say it again.
Never mind.
You know how long I've been singing that song?
Draw the graph?
Yeah, I said that like 10 minutes ago.
All I was going to say you different.
Anyway, I don't want to slow down your progress. Okay, so the next thing is the upper quartile. How do we find that?
Okay, that's the one where you add something.
That's the one where there's different ways to do this. So the way I would recommend is, well, all it is 3 over 4 multiplied by 70. That's all it is. All right. So basically all you're doing, to be honest, is whatever you get for the lower quartile, you multiply that by 3. So whatever you get for the lower quartile, you multiply that by 3. So that's 3 times 17.5. Which is what?
What you say?
3 times 17.5.
52.5.
52.5. So let me explain how we get to 52.5 again, or someone who understands can explain it to us. How we get 52.5?
Let me multiply.
You multiply by 3.
What do we multiply by 3?
17.5.
7.25.
Yeah, so whatever we get for our lower quartile, multiply that by 3. Right? That's how we get the upper quartile. But we're not done.
We multiply 1/4 by 3/4.
No, we multiply 1/4 by 3 to get 3/4. But I understand what you're saying. So yeah, so that's 52.5. So that'll be that. Plus this is 50. And this is 52.5 there. And so...
So, but did you got a phone directly on you?
Oh, you can hear that? Oh. Okay, this... I try and...
Oh,
Yeah, you got to sweat a little bit, you know.
I gotta sweat that. It's just that I was also trying to buffer the... I rather y'all hear that than to hear the other noise. So trying to create white noise.
one thing that is synced it.
Oh my, come on, you need some. Lionel probably distracted because he the person laughing.
Yeah.
Lionel right there.
Well,
Did you know anything happened in class we never forget for the next day? So,
Why? Some. Alright, so go down. It's going to be 2, 3, 7. Okay. Good. And so that's what we get. So we found we found the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile. Now we need to find interquartile range, which is going to be what? How do we find interquartile range? What? Why there's so much silence? How do we find interquartile range? No.
we put in that like 1n plus 1 over 4.
No, sir.
No?
Interquartile range. Gee.
Do we just find the range at a quarter and 3/4?
Yes. So the interquartile range would be what?
Any minus in the high from the lower, no?
Which high and which low?
2 minus 70.
2 minus 70. No.
The
Not that
fifth.
range. Not that range.
What?
The interquartile range. So.
Oh, sorry, I was out for a minute.
52.5 from the 17.5.
No.
No?
No. Remember, interquartile range equals what? Look at your notes. That's why y'all shouldn't be taking pictures, y'all forget them. That's why you need to write it down. See what I'm saying? When you take pictures, you don't remember.
What you asked?
See? You don't even know what I asked. Interquartile range. What is the interquartile range by definition? That is what? That is going to be, let me give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3.
You find the median
2.
or the lower, the upper.
Oh my goodness.
I'm back. Sorry, what are we doing?
Oh my goodness. We're trying to find the interquartile range. And by definition, the interquartile range, we said this before, the interquartile range is going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile.
Oh, so you minus 10 to
Well, but that's not what
37
No.
minus 112.
Thank you. 237 minus 212.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 212, sorry.
Hold on, what happened?
We are trying to find interquartile range. Just like how we did in the last example. Literally. I don't understand why this is such a shock. We take the upper quartile, which is 237. All right. And
So that's 25.
Yes, and you minus it with 212. That's the lower quartile. And that gives you the interquartile range, which is 25 centimeters. Okay. That's how we find the interquartile range. We literally did this in the last question, so I don't know why this is a big surprise. So 237 minus 212. Now, the interquartile range, the significance of the interquartile range is that it is actually, in a sense, the true range because it ignores all extreme values. So it really helps to give you a better look at your data, a better understanding of your data, and to see where the majority of, like, what is normal, right? For example, so if you're trying to find, what would be the normal, you know, jump for the people in your class, you know what I mean, or the students in your class, you wouldn't look for these jumps because this person they get like they got this one got 240, this one got 250, this one got 237, this one got 200, this one got 190. All right. But in between here, between these same values right here, it tells you like what is like the normal, like for the regular child, like what would they actually hit. And this here, the interquartile range, this range here tells us like, what is gonna be like the normal stuff, right? But ignoring the very low and the very high. Like what would people get on average? All right. And so that's what we get. All right, so any questions on this?
When are we moving on from this?
Say it again.
When do we move on?
You want to move on already?
Yeah, ain't not much to see here.
I mean, this is literally our second example. So, I don't think that I'll have to see what the rest of the PowerPoint say to see if anything interesting. But what I do wanted to show is Ricardo did send me a past paper. This is Ricardo. And I just wanted to show you the past paper and just let you see how it looks. And just give you a feel of what they actually asked for. So it's gonna be open. So math classes. All right. So if you look carefully, this came from I think 2020. What year, Ricardo? I don't know if you remember which year, Ricardo.
Last year.
All right. So 2021. And if you look at it, right, I know it's kind of hard to see, but like, is this something that you cannot do? Like,
You want me to send a better pick?
that's good. This is fine. Is this something that you would say is difficult? So they asked us to copy and complete the cumulative frequency table. So we have to finish up these numbers.
Excuse me, which paper this was on?
Paper what? Paper 3, Ricardo, or 2?
Yeah, paper 3.
Paper 3. And so it's very simple. All you need to do is add up the things. And then when you add them up, then you have to what? They asked us to copy and complete the frequency table. That's 2 points. Then they want us to, draw the frequency curve. And then from that, they want us to figure out the median mark, the upper quartile, and then the interquartile range. So we should be familiar with how to do this, right?
Sir.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll assign this for homework. Do this for homework, please. HW.
Okay. It's a tad blurry.
Tad blurry.
Yeah, I have problems when it comes to seeing through
Open your eyes.
screen.
What happened? I just say open the eyes. Let's see if we could like increase this thing. So, yeah, it's kind of blurry, but you could be able to see it. Say the cumulative frequency table below shows the results of a placement test given to 200 students upon their entry into college. The maximum score for the test is 100 marks. The scores are organized in groups of 10 mark increments. Yeah, good stuff. So consider that. Okay, are we good?
Good.
So,
Crystal.
Okay. Let's see what else this PowerPoint has to offer us. See if anything else we need from this. Okay. Alright, so we got that down, Bob. This is what I wanted us to figure out. Yes, this is what I wanted. Interpreting cumulative frequency curves. Yeah, good. So I like this one. I love this one. This is what I wanted to. This is the part that we need to figure out too. Like, not only do we need to know what is the median, what is interquartile range, but we need to be able to interpret what we mean by these numbers, right? And so this is a good question. I like this question. I'm glad they have it on this. Perfect, exactly what I wanted to talk about. So the cumulative frequency curve, that's this curve. So here we are given the cumulative frequency curve. And sometimes that could happen. So sometimes they could give you the curve and then they just give you the curve and then they ask you the question. So you don't have to plot, you don't have to do the cumulative you don't have to add up the cumulative frequencies. They just give you the curve and then you add them up. So sometimes that can happen. In this case it does. So they said the cumulative frequency curve gives information on aircraft arriving late at an airport. Use the curve to find estimates to the median interquartile range. And also to find, it's like C and D are most important for us now. Because we already know how to do A and B. C and D are most important. They want us to find the number of aircraft arriving less than 45 minutes late, right? And find the number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late. Okay, so we know how to find the median, that's the middle. We know that should be simple. The median is 27. Interquartile range, all we need is the upper minus the lower. So that should be straightforward. Just do that. That's straightforward. Interquartile range is 17 minutes. But can someone tell me how would they determine from this curve now the number of aircrafts arriving less than 45 minutes late?
huh? The number of aircraft.
Number of aircrafts arriving less than 45 minutes late.
Don't they look at the graph for that? Like,
Yeah, you look at the graph. So tell me how much.
The number under 40, it's a number under 45?
Yeah. Like 45?
It's a number under 45? Why is it?
I said 45.
45? You say 45? How you get 45?
Because the dot is on 45, like the frequency.
So you're saying, okay, so you're saying the number of aircraft arriving less than 45. You do what?
I don't have it. Just clean that up.
I was guessing that it would be 45 based off of.
So what you did is you went, I'm guessing this is what you did. You went here and you said, this is 45. And so
150?
let me go like this. What's you trying to say?
Yeah, somewhat.
But this is 50 something. It's supposed to be like 53 or so. 52. So I don't understand how you get what's your rationale?
Never mind. Pass it on to Mr.
Pass it on.
Bassett.
Anyone
Is
else?
it 150?
How you get 150?
I do a lot of adding.
You a lot of odding. 150. What you add?
I just add all the
There we go.
numbers.
Just add all the numbers.
Yeah, all the
You
numbers.
add
I accumulate all the numbers from 50 to 0.
from 50 to 0. Why from 50 precisely?
Because that's where lying up from 45 minutes
You sure?
on the curve.
45 is not exactly on 50 though. Because 45 is on it's more like 52. Would you say? Would you agree?
But they did say estimate, so yeah, rather estimate it to
Okay, you
the
estimate to
nearest 10.
150.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's kind of get an understanding of what's happening here, right? So, between 0 and 10 minutes late, right? Because that would be our first class if we had it, right? Between 0 and 10 minutes, what was our frequency? What's the question? What was our frequency? We know the cumulative frequency between
5.
0 and 10. See 5. Let's go back to the other question. We have between 180 and 190. The frequency was 2, right? Would you agree? And then here we got we say 8, so that's gonna be 8 minus 2, which is what? Sorry, not 8 minus 2. It's 200,
What?
and this is 8. So that's gonna be, yeah. The final was the frequency between 190 and 200. We have to subtract the 2 and the 6, right? I don't know if y'all feeling me, to get what would be it between 190 and 200. So I mean is, okay.
No, I don't get you. Not one bit. No,
So what I mean is,
So you flying in the range?
no, not the range. I'm saying is, what I mean is, at 190, the cumulative the frequency between 190 and, 180 and 190 is 2. That's the frequency.
I'm putting my 2.
Say it again.
But why did you put 2 there?
Why did I put 2
You
out?
have to
Because
say that?
what I'm trying to say is, okay, look, this cumulative frequency curve is what we got from the frequencies and from the cumulative frequencies. That's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to work backwards. I'm trying to say, if I only had the curve, would I be able to tell you how much, my frequency is? That's what I'm trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that's important is because okay, for example, if I ask you right now, right, what was the number of students who got um who got no more than 210 distance? The number of students who got no more than 210 um
8?
distance. It can't be 8. It's gonna be 9 plus 6 plus what plus 2.
We gotta add the 9 too?
Yeah, because remember I said no more than 210. So that means that
17.
if they got between 180 and 190, that could work. If they got between 190 and 200, that could work. And if they got between 200 and 210, that could work. So all three of these will work, right? So if I ask for no more than 210, then I have to add up these three frequencies.
17.
So which is 17. Okay. Now, if I say I want, because the question asks for the number of aircrafts arriving less than 45 minutes late. So it's the same thing with this. If I say I want the number of students who got less than 210, it's the same thing. I just add up.
So you added them.
Right? If I say I want the number of students who got less than 220, what would my answer be?
24.
24. So I'm gonna add 7, 9, 6, and 2. What if I say I want the number of students who got less than 230?
39.
But Mr. Petit, it's easy if you have the info in front of you, but we don't have the info in front of us.
Exactly. But remember, in each case, we just looking at the cumulative frequency at that point. So, for example, look at the graph. So, for the graph, we have okay. For the graph, we say if I say one number of students who got less than 230, all I gotta do is look at 230, right? Go up. No, so I gotta go at 230. Go up, and I'll know that it's 39. You see what I'm saying? Because the 39, the same 39 accounts for everything above it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, let me give me.
I understand now. I'm understanding it.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if I say I want a number of students who got less than 190, who jumped less than 190, what would your answer be?
2.
2. Very good.
Oh.
It would, because you got 2 right from here, right? Now, what if I say I want a number of students who got less than 200?
8.
That'll be 8, right? Just by looking at the graph. Number of students
So
who
what
got
if we do?
just by looking at the graph, the number of students who got less than 210.
17.
70?
17.
17, is that true? Yeah, 17. Yes, it's 17. The number of students who got less than 210 centimeters.
You just asked that?
210. Sorry, less than 220. Sorry.
24.
24. Very good. So, just by looking at the graph, I could tell you the number of students who got less than a particular value, because this is the upper bound, right? This is the upper bound. We always do it as it relates to the upper bound. And this number is a cumulative result. So that means that if I want number of students who are less than 220, I know that, okay, well, 2 got it. 2 got between 190 and 180, 190.
What'd you say?
If I want the number of students who got less than 220, I know, okay, good. 2 got
24.
Exactly, it's going to be 24. But what is 24? That's just the sum of 2, 6, 9, and 7. Okay, and so that's how we could do it. So if we go back here, and they say we want the number of students, the number of aircraft arriving less than 45 minutes late.
So we add that.
We have to.
Plus 53 then.
So it's about 53, 52. Because whatever the cumulative, whatever the point is for this, that's the cumulative frequency at that particular point, or for that particular upper bound. All right, so it's going to be 53 there, about 52 or 53. Okay, so there we go. 52.
See, you got that.
Okay. So that is the number of aircraft arriving less.
So when I said it, why you make it sound like I was so wrong?
What did you say, Nancy?
I said the exact same. I said you're going to go at 45 and you're going to go up. And you said no.
I didn't say no. I didn't say no. I probably asked you.
Nancy wasn't too sure.
What's the rationale?
Yeah, I want the rationale.
You told me no.
I didn't say no.
Yeah, he didn't say no. You just wasn't sure about your answer.
Yeah, I didn't say no.
But it was a strong guess.
That was a good guess, I would say, for sure. Okay, now we want the number of students, the number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late. Now this is interesting. The number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late. So you have to think about it. arriving more than 25 minutes late. So it have to be more than 25 minutes.
So the upper limit is 70 then. And the lower limit is 25.
Would you count
Well, it
from
might be
25
71.
up to
Me and
70?
Isn't it 60?
But
60.
but we want the number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late.
So would you minus the average 25 from the total?
25 from the total.
Yeah, like the average amount of people.
Okay, so we know that you know, if we go where's 25? 25 is about there also. This is 25. Right? And 25 is gonna be, say, it's gonna be associated with how much?
25.
Not exactly 25, to be honest.
20. 24. Because it's like under the line.
It ain't exactly underlined. Like, do you see that?
So make it 25 one time.
Yeah, I guess we could go 24.
23?
24.
23.5.
I was saying 23, more closer to 23 than 24.
23.5 or 23.4.
So, Gryffindor is 9. But, let's see how close it is. This is, 24. Let's go 24.
This ain't like the interquartile range, something like that.
Yeah, it look like something like the interquartile range, right? The 24. Alright. Okay, now, so what does the number 24 mean to you? Like, what is that telling us?
Telling us the lower limit.
I want in terms of aircraft. Aircraft have to be inside your aircraft and late have to be inside your answer.
So that's the number of aircraft arriving later than 25 or more than more than 25.
Not more than, no.
The minimum.
Less than 25 or
the minimum time the aircraft need to be.
The amount.
Look at what we did for C. Like, what did 52 tell us?
52.
The number of aircraft arriving less than 45 minutes.
Good. So 52 tells us the number of aircraft arriving less than 45 minutes. So what would 24 tell? What would 24 tell us?
Wasn't be the number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late?
Less than 25 minutes, exactly.
Less than. So the number of students arriving, the number of aircraft arriving less than 25 minutes is 24. So there are 24 aircrafts that's going to arrive less than 25 minutes. Now, we want the number of aircraft arriving more than 25 minutes late. So what we need to do is we know that this guy, this 60.
So we're doing 24. So I mean 60 from 24.
Yes, we're gonna do 60 from 24. Because the reason is because 20 this number 60 tells us the number of aircrafts arriving less than 60 minutes. But think about that. The number of aircrafts arriving less than 60 minutes, we could divide that into two portions. The ones who was less than 60, but less than 60 and lower than 25. And then we have the ones who are less than 60, but higher than 25. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we want that group who is less than 25, we want that out. Because we want only the ones who got more than 25. And we know that there was only 24 of them who got less than 25. And so we're going to say 60 minus 24. And so that's the idea. So 60 minus 24 gives us 36. Alright. So that one is interesting. I like D. D is a very good question.
Yeah, but after the first time, the cat out of the the cat out of the bag.
Sit again.
I did interesting at first, but after the first time, the cat's out of the
The
bag.
cat's
That's
out of
it.
the bag. That's it. Yeah. As with everything, right?
Not everything.
As with everything.
Not everything.
Once you know it, you know it. I mean, once you learn how to ride a bike, I mean, you know how to ride a bike. I mean, when I couldn't ride a bike, and I was like, man, I wish I could ride a bike. And then you knew how to learn how to ride a bike. It's like, wow, that's it. So
That's true, you know.
Yeah, but did you master riding a bike?
did I master riding a bike? Well, of course, man. All right, but I see what you're saying. Some things there's still a bit of um interestingness to it, even after you get it, you know. But this one is straightforward. But intuition, you have to get the intuition with it to understand it, and once you get it, you get it. So I like these two questions. They really are good for us in understanding what's happening, how to interpret, like what do these values actually mean, and we plot them. Okay. Okay, interpreting cumulative frequencies. So the answer for C was anyone can remember? That was 52.
52.
Yeah. And the answer for D was or is 36.
36.
Good. All right. Okay, so interpreting again. Let's go. So marks and cumulative frequency. Boom.
Bgcse, please.
Yes, you can. So the cumulative frequency the graph shows the cumulative frequency curve of the marks for students in an examination. Listen to me very carefully. These are good questions, you know. These are very good questions. I give you honest. They really this is really good to help you get a good understanding. After you finish these questions, you should have a good basis for your exam. Your exam should be the questions they're gonna give you an exam. It won't be would be similar, and I can show you. I can show you an exam where they gave us the cumulative frequency curve and they also see same sort of questions. So I like these questions. So the first one is median mark. We know median mark. Median mark is just gonna be half of 60.
Yeah.
30,
30.
and then that's gonna be about say 27. Yeah, 27. All right, good. That's the median. Now, the number of students who got less than 55 marks. So what would that be? The number of students who got less than 55.
You go into 55.
Say it again.
You go into 55 and you go into down. You go into 50.
Very good.
And
So we
then
go to
you go
55. Uh-huh.
then you go up.
And then we find the cumulative frequency,
Then you
right?
go across.
57.
You say 57? Sure.
I think 58.
Yeah, but 58.
56.
No, man, can't be
57.
That's more 58. Yeah,
What?
58. Okay. Now, the pass mark. What's the pass mark if 3/4 of the students pass the test?
You say, what is the pass mark?
Mm-hmm.
If 75, well, not 75% pass.
So it's 45.
How much of them it is? So in total.
3/4 of the students. That doesn't matter. We know that the cumulative frequency tells us the cumulative frequency at the end tells us how much students there is, you know. So like we have in total 60 students. That's what we gotta have. Because if you look at the look at the aircraft, let's look at this example. If we look at it, when we add 2, 6, 9, 7, 15, 18, 8, and 5. We should get 70, right? Let's add this.
What'd you say?
Add the frequencies. What in the world? Where is my... One moment, look up the calculator. Boy, never put the calculator on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so add the frequencies and tell me what you get. So that's 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 7. Sorry.
70.
You got 70? 2, 6,
Yes, sir.
9, 7, 15, 18, 8, and 5. Yeah, 70. So the total number of students is 70. So in a similar manner, so that's the n tells us the total number of students. So, and why does that make sense? Well, that's basically 2, and then 2 plus 6 is 8, and 8 is simply 2 plus 6, and then 17 is simply 2 plus 6 plus 9, and then 24 is simply 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 7, and then 15 is simply that, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So it's 70. So let's go back here. So we want to determine the number, the pass mark, if 3/4 of the students pass the test. So 3/4 of the students is going to be, we have how much students? 60 students in a class.
60.
Yeah. What is 3/4 of 60? Okay, let's do that. 3/4 of
45.
45.
45.
3/4 of 60, that's going to be 3 times. 3 over 4 times 60.
60 gives you 40.
45. And so that means that we're going to figure out the pass mark if 3/4 of the students pass the test. So that would be, what that would be is we have to go to 45.
The 45 on the scale.
And then we should find out
Go
what the pass
across.
mark would be. What?
And that looks.
That's okay. Oh, what's that noise? Yeah. Okay, so 3/4 of the students passing the test implies that 1/4 failed. So
So we
15.
did. I thought that was you making all that noise.
No, that's not me.
That was someone.
So 3/4 of the students passing the test implies that 1/4 failed. Okay. 21.
So are you taking 1/4 from 3/4? That's it?
Trying to figure out why they say 21. The pass mark if 3/4 of the students fail. Okay, let me think about this.
Aren't you supposed to give them like the mark passing score?
So the answer is 30.
No, they say 15. Yeah, they say 15. I'm trying to figure out why it's 15 and not. Okay, let's think about it. If we talk about 3/4, 3/4 is 45. So if we did do 45, right? 45, this value, 45 tells
But
us.
did you saw they finished with the answer?
Yeah, they finished. There's none done after that. And so let's understand why. So this is 45, right? This guy is 45, and 45 is connected to say looks to me like 38, 37. So that means that 45 students, right, got less than 35 marks on the exam, right? So again, the cumulative frequency of 45 tells us that 45 students got less than 37 marks on the exam. That's all we know from that. So that don't really help because we're trying to figure we want to figure what is the pass mark if 3/4 of the students pass. This tells us, this 15 tells us that 15 students got less than 21%. So the pass mark is 21. Why didn't it finish it? The pass mark. Yeah, the pass mark is 21. Okay. Okay, this is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say is, think about it. If 3/4 of the students pass the test, right? That means that 45 students pass the test. So if 45 students pass the test, that means that 15 students had to fail the test because, so that's a simple, that's like 60 minus what, 45.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why isn't it on 45 and it's on 30?
Why is it on 45? It's on 30. Okay, we're trying to figure out the pass mark, right? We're just trying to figure out what percentage that, this is very important. You have to really think about it. Like, I like this question. What they're trying to say is like, what would be the passing score, right? If we know that 3/4 of the students pass the test, right? What would have to be this? What would have to be the passing score? Now, if we go
The score the quarter get.
the score that, yes, the score that a quarter didn't get, because a quarter of the students got less than 21%. That's exactly what this means. 15 students got less than 21%. So that means that one fourth of the students got exactly 1/4 of the students got exactly less than 21%. That means that the passing score had to been 21%, because if the passing score was, say, 15%, then these persons would have get it. Right? The passing score was 10%, some of these persons would have get it. You see what I'm saying? But the passing score is 21% because exactly 1/4 of these students got less than 21%. All right. Now, let me help you again with this, because this, even when I was in school, this was hard to understand. So I'm gonna explain it using another way. So let me switch it. So instead of saying what's the passing mark if 1/4 of the students pass the test, I want the pass mark if half of the students. What would have to be the pass mark if half of the students pass the test?
27.
Say it again. 27. Very good. Because that's going to be 60 minus 30. Because we know if half pass, that means that half failed. And that means that 30 people had to fail. All right? That means that 30 people got less than a certain mark. And according to this, 30 people got less than 27%. Right? So the pass mark, if half of the students pass, is going to be 27%. Okay, 27%. Now, next question. What would be the pass mark if we know that 3/4 of the students pass the test. Ready? Have that pass minus 3/4. No, we not 3/4. We want a quarter of the students pass the test. So what will be the pass mark if a quarter of the students pass the test?
45.
45. Only a quarter pass.
Like 38, 30.
38.
I think
40 marks.
going across. Like I think it's not more than 40 for sure. Is it like 37, 38?
Yes. Found my point. So if a quarter pass, how much is a quarter? 60. How much is a quarter from 60?
15.
15. So that means that 60 minus 15. That means that how much failed?
45.
45 failed. So that means that 45 got less than a certain mark. So that means we have to go to 45, right? And measure that there, and then we need to go down. So that's gonna be looks like about 46, 47, right? So the pass mark would have to be, say, 46 or 47%. If we know that only 15 students pass. Okay, so that's the idea. Does that make sense? I need to explain it again.
Makes sense.
Kind of lost here.
Kind of lost some people.
I think.
All you need to do is understand that.
Practice.
All you need to do is understand that this is telling us that 45 students, right, got less than or less than 30. So I got less than 40. Why is it 46? No one corrected me. That's 36. Gee.
Wow, but you understand.
36. 36. Yeah, so 45 students got less than 36 marks. So I am the teacher, I distribute the papers, and 45 people got 36 marks. That's 3/4 of the class. That's 75% of the class got 36%. And what if I said, no, sorry, got less than 36%. 45 students got less than 36%. So if I say that, and I go in front of class, I said, only 15 people pass. So if only 15 people pass, that means that the people who pass had to get at least 36 or above. See what I'm saying? Because remember, 45 students failed. All right? 45 students got less than 36%. And I go in front of class and I said, only 15 people pass. That means that the 15 people had to get either 36 or above. Right? So that's the idea.
How?
How? Okay. If Cooper don't understand, I have to explain it again.
Wait, there you move.
No, I have to explain it again because you usually catch on. If you don't catch on, that means it's bad explanation on my part. Okay. Let's go back to the 3/4. So the pass mark, they want the pass mark if 3/4 of the students pass the test. Right? That means that the majority of the students pass the test. Okay. So if 3/4 pass, think about this. If 3/4 pass, think about what is 3/4 compared to 60. What is 3/4 of 60?
45.
45. So how much students pass the test?
40, 46.
How many students pass the test?
45.
45. Good. 45 students pass the test. Good. So if 45 students pass the test, how much people fail?
Well, would you minus something?
So it's going to be 60 minus 45, which is going to give us how much?
Let me see. 15.
Yeah, very good. So 15 students did what?
Fail.
They failed. Right? That means that they did not
Pass.
good. So if we go to our graph, we find that when we go to 15, we find that 15 students got less than 21%. Right? So that means that 15 of these people did not get 21%. They got lower than 21%, which means that they did not pass. That means that they
Fail.
failed. So what is the pass mark? In order to pass, how much you have to get?
Hold on, Mr. Petit. You say who they get lower than what?
They got lower than 21%.
Boy,
Okay, and what else?
They got, so 15 of them got lower than 21%. That means that, and then those same 21% did not pass. So what is the percentage that you need to get in order to pass?
I don't know.
Okay, think about this, Cooper. 15 of them did not pass. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And 15 of them did not get 21%. They got lower than 21%. So what is the percentage you need to pass?
You can move on because I lost.
21%.
Where did 21?
Right there. 15 corresponds to 21.
Oh my gosh, that was right there.
Yes, right there. So the 21% come from. Okay. So 15 of them did not pass. I mean 15% of them. Sorry, I mean 15 of them failed. I mean no, 15 of them got less than 21%. So the pass mark had to be 21%. Because if the pass mark wasn't 21%, then and they got say 17% or 18%, they would have passed. But since the pass mark is 21%, that means that um if they get anything lower than that, they failed. Okay, so better than mine.
But what is that 21 marks to for the 60?
Say it
Maybe
again.
percentage.
Say it again.
I was asking, what is that 21 marks with the 60 in the percentage?
Oh, that's a good thing you said. It's not 21%, it's 21 marks, you're right. Out of 60. So that's just 21 divided by 60, eh?
So, Mr. Petit, what the 36 you had there was for?
Well, that was another example test.
Oh, okay.
That's 35%.
Okay, I think I get it.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, but hopefully you can get it. I think I can give this next one for homework, is it? Love it. I love these questions. These are some good questions. These are some very good questions. Then they ask us to box plot.
Kind of hurt my little brain, man. You can't do that one?
Wait. Wow, this thing goes deep, bro. No, this is the same name. No, I guess it goes deep. Okay, these just more examples and questions. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll let you do this one for more. Why is this thing? It's freezing on us.
Words not responding.
Yeah.
Name PowerPoint.
Yeah. PowerPoint. What I'll do is let me just show you all it in a past paper, just so y'all could get a feel of it. Maybe I'll give you all that form of Bgcse math past papers. Student they shared it. I think it was 2018 that I saw it on the cumulative frequency. I hope it's 2018. More likely it's 2018. Yeah, there we go. Good. So do this one for homework for me, please. And then tomorrow we can go over it.
I'll try.
Say it again.
Okay.
That was what?
Never mind.
I hope you didn't say that.
Say that was hers.
That was hers.
No, I said I'll try.
Oh, you say I'll try. Okay. Okay. You better do. Instead of I'll try.
Oh.
I'll try gives you a way out. Oh, Mr. Petito, all I said is try. I didn't say I'll do it. Alright, so this is the cumulative frequency graph. Here they give it to us. Okay? And then here they ask for the median, mark. Everyone should know how to do this, right? Hopefully. The lower quartile. Then they want the number of students who scored 40% or more. Okay? And the pass mark if only 90 candidates were accepted. Good questions. Good questions. I believe that we sufficiently covered this so that we could be able to answer this question. And that's all you need to know for cumulative frequency. You know, that's it. That's all you need to know. So that's good. I'm glad that we got some exposure to circle theorem, some exposure to cumulative frequency. I think that we really need to do now is probably bearings. We need to do some more bearings questions and transformations, and then we good. And then my hands are clean. Unless you could think of a topic that we didn't do.
True.
Yeah.
Abstract algebra.
Shock.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Can you give us a syllabus for the math exam,
The syllabus for Bgcse?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the syllabus, like glad you asked the question. Now the syllabus is interesting, and the reason why I say this is because on the syllabus they have some stuff that they never or rarely test. Okay, so I usually Bgcse syllabus. So I usually just go based off of what I see on the what I actually see them bringing on the exams instead of what they have on the syllabus, because the syllabus some of them stuff they don't even bring, but not the curriculum. You also the Bgcse syllabus. I don't want the curriculum. The curriculum is extensive. Okay, this curriculum, we don't want curriculum, we want Bgcse syllabus. Okay, that means we have to go on thing on the go on. This one. They should have the Bgcse. They still have the curriculum here. I don't want the curriculum. I wanted you to see the actual thing I'm on. The the
What's a
actual.
bit deep? All you have to do is type in Bgcse math syllabus, and you'll get the PDF.
You sure? Okay, math syllabus. Let's go. Let's go. This one. Look at that. Very good. Okay, so this is the syllabus. So for the syllabus, they separated the three categories. So you have well, two categories. You have the core stuff and you have extended stuff. Okay, and so the first thing that you really need to know is, types of numbers, real numbers, integers, rational, irrational. We did them stuff inside this class. I hope you remember. Prime numbers, we stay doing that. Common factors, multiples, these are the things you need to know. Sequences, you need to know, like, patterns, if they give you the numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, you deal with prime numbers. If they give you the numbers 4, 9, 16, 25, you're dealing with what type of numbers? 4, 9, 25,
Cube,
36, square. And
square, my bad.
okay, and so this one is then, so that's types of numbers, you need to know that. And then sets, we did all of the sets notation, every last one of these. We did, and then solving problems involving 3 sets Venn diagrams, we did that. Hope you remember that. That's the extended one. Okay, so that's extended people, they need to know that. And then calculating cube root and square root, x to the power of something, and in general n to the power of something. I mean, to the square, to the nth root. So with this one, I don't know if you're all familiar with this one, but it's basically if you have the cube root, that could work. The 4th root, the 5th root, and stuff like that.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Directed numbers, we should know that from Bgcse times. That's like -4 plus 5, something like that. Or -4, -5. How would you do that? Right? And then here is let me put the PDF, the link in the group in the chat so you can access it. What? Kennedy?
Good one for Bgcse.
I don't know what is going on. The one for Bgcse is literally exactly like this. I could be honest. It's literally this. The same thing. They start off with numbers. They start off with sets. They do squares. They do directed numbers. They do vulgar fractions. The only thing in the Bgcse they don't have scientific notation. Okay. Let me put the Bgcse one too. Thank you, Miss Cooper. Bgcse. Okay. So like I said, it's the same thing. So they start off with whole numbers, primes, cubes, factors, square root stuff. Then patterns. Then fractions, stuff like that. So let me put this inside the chat too. That name looks so familiar, but I can't remember.
Interrogate him.
I must turn out some student.
No, for real. I remember Curtis.
I just can't say that.
You remember Miss Curtis from Long Time?
I remember Curtis. I know that first.
Curtis. Okay, so let's go to language. I got a language early today because some people have exams tomorrow. I hope y'all remember your exams tomorrow. Bgcse students. Bgcse students, they have their first exam. It's a listening comprehension exam. And they have that tomorrow. Am I right?
Good luck.
You wrong.
May 3rd. Oh, that's next
You wrong, Mr. Badi. We ain't buddy.
Oh, I thought that was tomorrow.
You wrong.
I thought that was tomorrow.
Why did you
I thought that was tomorrow.
I didn't even I didn't get my schedule yet. My heart dropped to my butt. Just oh my gosh.
Sorry. I thought it was
Well, I
tomorrow.
I was like, hold on, I ain't even think off no time. I was like,
what could come in the same time?
I know, right? Jonathan. I don't even know if that's Jonathan. I don't know. I can't say.
I don't think they will put John. I don't think he would put Jonathan
No.
Sweden,
No.
but that could be him.
Well, he get locked up for doing foolishness in the first place. Um, yeah, I'm wrong. So I thought that was tomorrow. So why is stressing
My
about it?
exam on Thursday.
What exam that is?
Home ec practical studies.
Okay, okay. Well, all the best, my dear.
All of mine's in June.
good luck, good luck.
All the best, Jonathan. Mm, can't have that happen. Okay, so yeah, okay, so then we don't have to stress about that. We go back to our thing. I thought we had that for tomorrow. I mean, we had
You
that for
always
tomorrow. Okay, so that means we could do the homework then. So the
Go,
homework.
Mr. Petit.
Hey,
no the homework
Going over.
has to be.
You're going
Mr.
over
D.
key button.
say keyboard then. Yes, sir, Ricardo.
Mr. BT,
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Jonathan just messaged
another
me.
picture.
That's him, Mr. BT.
That's him.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So it's kind
tell them
of
to log
blue.
in again. What we looking at now? Okay, yes. The homework that we supposed to do. Oh, that means I can finish explaining this thing first. Then let me finish explaining that. So
It could be the homework.
and you ask and you could tell me if there's something I did not teach you. Okay, something I didn't teach you. This is the time now to tell Mr. Petit. You didn't teach us this. Don't wait till you end up getting a B and say, Mr. Petit, I would have get an A, if you just did teach me this part.
You don't gotta wipe with that. I aiming for a D.
No, no, don't aim for a D. Don't aim for a D, man. Shoot for the stars. Even if you fall, you would land on what? The clouds, they say. Alright. So we did standard notation, scientific notation. Remember this?
You ain't sharing, by the way.
I'm not sharing. You sure? Will?
Yes, for sure.
Positive.
Alright. Jonathan, is that you? Speak now or about the piece.
As well.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. Just making sure, because some things is happening. Alright. Scientific notation. Did we do this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 rules for calculating whole numbers. Anyone familiar with this? This is like PEMDAS.
You said it's PEMDAS?
Familiar.
PEMDAS, yeah. PEMDAS.
Okay, yes, sir.
Make estimates of numbers, quantities, and lengths. Give approximation to specified numbers of significant figures, decimal places, and whole numbers. Give
Yeah.
analysis. Yeah, good. So this is
Yes,
like
sir.
rounding significant figures. Calculate the percentage error. That's extended. I never saw a question like this.
I
I haven't seen anything like that, so we even get a practice. So this one, I don't know. Yeah, percentage error. That's basically how accurate something is, right? So, or really how off something is. So, but I haven't seen a question that they ask on this one. But if it come, it'll have to be you have to minus something by something. That's the idea. But I haven't seen this in any of the papers yet, so that's why we haven't saw any something like this. I wouldn't be hurt in my head about something like this because it usually don't come. But yeah, this one is give appropriate upper bounds and lower bound for data given to a specified accuracy. Example, measured length. So, and then this one say obtain upper and lower bounds for simple problems. The calculation of perimeter area of a rectangle given specified accuracy. We haven't done this. I can be honest, we haven't done this because it rarely comes. It came one time on a past paper. What they want you to do is they want you to determine the upper bound and the lower bound. So we haven't done this. If I be honest. Limits of accuracy. No, we haven't done this. So remind me to do limits of accuracy. Just to be able to see how it is. But this is something that's tested regularly. But I saw this before. This came on paper 3. Michaela.
No, not again. No,
It's getting a little stale now.
not again, but
It looked like Michaela. I mean, but the only thing is that but she don't spell her name with a double Y.
Mr. Bitty, we know that right now. We all know that.
Okay. Then we have ratio, rate, proportion. Calculate average speed. Use scales. Is that all? Let me see. Then she would message me. No, okay. Reminder we have to do. Thank you. Already. Wow. Okay, so we did average speed. We do that like every day. Use scales in practical situation. Divide a quantity in a given ratio. Yes. Demonstrate an understanding of elementary ideas. That's what they say. Elementary ideas. That's what. That's the fundamentals. That's what I'm saying. We don't do nothing strange here. Elementary ideas and notation of ratio, direct and inverse proportion, common measures of rate. We do these stuff. Express direct and inverse variation in algebraic terms and use this form of expression define unknown quantities. That's like if they say if 4 men work for 2 hours, if you have 20 men, how long it will take, stuff like that. Percentages, solve problems involving reverse percentages, finding the cost price given the selling price, and the percentage profit is the questions that Nancy always get wrong. These type.
Really have to remember bus like that? And I'm so tired tonight.
I mean, we already know that.
Calculate the given percentage of a quantity.
Wait, with the question is I could work on it? Which one?
That's like finding the percentage profit. So remember those percentage problems? You have to find out which one is which. You express one quantity as a percentage of another. So that'll be like like what we mean is like if we have express one quantity as a percentage of another. So let's say we have 50 students in the class, right? We have 20 boys, 30 girls. And I want to figure what is the percentage of boys in the classroom. And so I would say it'll be 20 over 50 times 100. Stuff like that. Use of calculator.
Anybody could work on it now to get better. Like, I don't know. Like, give it like send me a video or something on how to work on it. Or if that's too much for you, then because I know you got a lot to do it.
A video that would. Because I don't know of a specific person on a specific video. All I'd say is.
Okay.
All I'd say is. You have to go on Student Chat and find the questions that are similar to that. Like once it say percentage profit or they would say no, they would say percentage profit. Write the cost price as a percentage of the original price. So write the I can't remember the exact wording. Let's see, write the profit as a percentage of write the profit as a percentage of the cost price. We did that before. Write the cost price as a percentage of write the profit as a percentage of the cost price. Stuff like that. Using calculator efficiently. That's you have to know when to apply sign, when to change, like You have to know that your calculator have to be in degrees and not radians. You have to know how to do square root using calculator. Know how to do cube root using a calculator. Know how to do sine and cosine with your calculator. Like that. Measures. Use current units of mass, length, area, volume. Yeah, we did volume, we did length, we did area. Express quantities in terms of larger or smaller units. Yeah, small thing. Then time, everyone should know time. 24-hour clock versus 12-hour clock. Yep. Money and personal household finance. These are good, right? What we haven't done is calculate compound interest for up to maximum of 3 periods. 3 times. We haven't done that. This, I never saw this before in the exam, but they have it on the syllabus, so they could give it. So we haven't done this. Someone could remind me to also look at that. Graphs and practical situations. So we stay doing this. Demonstrate familiarity with the Cartesian coordinates. This is just graphing. Interpret and use graph in practical situations, including travel and conversion graphs. Remember, this is what they love to bring in Bgcse, travel graph. Draw graphs from given data. This is when we have the table of values and we have the plot things. Apply the idea of rate of change to kinematics involving distance time and speed time graphs, acceleration and deceleration. Calculate distance travel as area under linear speed time graph. This is more physics. They rarely bring this. I've never seen this on the exam before. And we haven't done it because it never be there. But remind me to do this. Calculate distance as area under the speed time graph. Remind me to do that. And remind me to do apply the idea of rate of change involving distance. We do distance and time graphs. We haven't done is acceleration and deceleration to show that. We haven't done that. That's more so physics, but they have it here. And that's under the extended part. I haven't seen this before, but they saying that they could bring it. And then this one is, of course, we do this all the time, linear graph. This is the reciprocal, right? And this is when they ask us to find, the slope, the gradient, solve them, stuff like that. This one is the same thing. Construct a table. We done this before, drawing the tangent line, stuff like that. We done that. Equations of a straight line graph, same thing. When we plot the coordinates and stuff like that. Algebraic representation and formulae. So use letters to express generalized numbers and express basic arithmetic processes algebraically. Substitute numbers for words and letters in the formulae. Translate simple formulae where the subject appears only once. So this is translation. We have to make X the subject, make M the subject, stuff like that. Construct and solve equations from given situations. We've done that. Transform more complex formulae where the subject may appear more than once. Okay, this is just basically transformation where you have just basically to make a particular variable the subject, and the variable appears on both sides. This one is adding fractions, but adding algebraic fractions, or either adding them, multiplying them, or dividing them. We've done problems like this before, but we haven't done a lot of practicing with it. This one is factorization by grouping. And we've done that before. This one is just straightforward factorization. We did this before. We could use some more examples on that too. And this one is just a regular adding and subtracting fractions. Functions. Oh boy. What we do is functions in this class. Functions. Finding the inverse of the function. Finding the composite function. All those stuff. We have done this. Then indices. We've done these. Only thing I haven't done, I would say, would be these two. I don't think I've really hammered these down.
Indices?
Say it again.
What are indices? Indices?
Exponents, remember? Like say 2 to the second power times 3 to the
Oh.
third power, like that.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. I haven't done this like that. We haven't done this.
They got like to the second power to the second power.
Say it again.
They have indices for indices.
They can, but they rarely do them stuff, man. I've never seen it on the Bgcse. The syllabus. Remember, the syllabus is just there to tell you what we should do, but in practice, they don't really go through all this. That's why when you do the papers, you get to see which one they really hammer down. But the syllabus is just to say, okay, this is the scope. Okay, so symmetry, algebraic equations, yeah, we've done these things. Linear inequalities, yeah, symmetry, yep. Oh boy, geometry, parallel, perpendicular, acute.
Can you see the clock, Mr. Bitchy?
Wow.
Yeah, I see the clock. I see it. Yeah, we've done these things. The only thing we haven't done, really, we haven't done similarity. We haven't done similarity, and we haven't done bearings like that. Angle properties, yep, for sure. Trigonometry, yep, of course. Statistics, oh boy, this is we just finished knockdown. Pie charts, we've done that. Pie charts, we've done that. Pictograms, do we have to do pictograms? Like that's like just dying lot. Simple frequency distributions, we did that. Mean, median, mode, la. We've done that. Estimate the mean interquartile range. We saw that, right? Estimate the mean for group continuous data. Identify modal class from a group frequency. Construct and read histograms. Yeah. Probability. We've done that. Yeah, we've done that. Factors. We've done that. Matrices. We've done that. Transformations. We did it last year. We need to go over it again. The only thing we haven't done at all is differentiation, and that's when you get into calculus. So this is calculus right there. Use the derivative of a function to calculate the gradient. Derive the equation for tangent on a point. This is calculus. I don't know why they put this on your syllabus because this never comes. But yeah, this
Maybe
you don't have to do it then.
I wouldn't. I'll cover it just for completeness, but yeah, never did it. And even my teacher, he did it. He did it with us. But we never
saw the question.
never saw the question.
All that. Can we get just a little bit more practice on matrices? And transpiration. Matrices and
transpiration. No problem.
Yeah, in biology.
I don't even know if there's such a thing as transpiration.
Biology.
Transpiration.
Sorry.
With the leaves,
Yeah, when they lose in the water.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I can't see formation. Sorry.
No problem. I can help you with that. Let me see.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's a couple of good stuff we could touch for you. Honestly.
Oh boy, I don't know. That's a point. I don't know. These people never come to class. Why they come to class now?
Okay. Crunch time, Mr. Padilla, the crunch time.
I don't know. Okay, now you're gonna go over Bgcse too, just for fairness. As you can see, they basically
just one question: are we going to extend English then, or are you going to cut English short?
We're gonna do English in English time.
Anna was a World Cup song.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so Yeah, whole numbers, primes, factors, multiples. Yeah, we did all that. Number pattern and sequences, yes, for sure. Vulgar and decimal percentage fractions. Convert from fraction to a decimal. Convert from percentage to that equivalent fractions. Yes. All that.
Oh, we got this in the Bible on.
In the Bible.
Yeah. Then we have PEMDAS. Then we have adding, subtraction, multiplying, and dividing fractions, whole numbers, and mixed numbers. You need to know how to do that. Then we have directed numbers, which is 4 minus 3 equals 1. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7, stuff like that. Then we have ratio. So if we have the ratio of, say, 2 to 4, how would we simplify that? The ratio of 36 to 56, how would we simplify that? Direct and indirect proportion, linear scales, and maps. So for example, if we have a scale, so if we have a map where 5 centimeters equals to 2 kilometers, what would be the kilometers if we have 7 centimeters? Like that. Approximation, be able to approximate the 2 decimal places, so rounding, right? Significant figures, of course, sets. Everybody should know sets. If you don't know sets by now, like, I'll get your lunch. Then solving only 2 sets using Venn diagram. So you never have to do 3 sets for Bgcse.
Oh, that's good.
All the time.
Measures of weight, length, and area. So finding the weight, finding the area, finding the volume. Using the 24-hour clock, foreign currency, do simple conversions. That means like if you know that a dollar in the US is equal to, sorry, a US dollar is equal to, say, 85 cents in Bahamian money, or reverse. If you know the Bahamian money is 85 cents to compared to a dollar in the US. If you have $50 in US, how much money you have in Bahamian money, stuff like that.
We could go over that.
Okay, no problem. That's just multiplying though.
Oh,
It's 2012. Oh, thank God.
okay, okay.
Higher purchase, of course, discount, loans, salaries, profit, always. Average speed, we know that. Symmetry, for sure. Area, for sure. Circumference, for sure. These easy stuff. Probability, magnitude, less than, greater than, equal to. Inequalities, plotting, travel graphs, the time graphs we always see.
Yeah, I like that.
Right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, all them stuff.
Yeah, I got them.
Isosceles, equilateral triangle, acute angle, scalene, rhombus, rectangle, knowing what them stuff is. Knowing angles in a point equals to 360 angles on a straight line, 180. Knowing how to construct 60 degrees, 90 degrees. Knowing how to bisect them, knowing how to bisect the line. And finally, approximations, and then you're done. Okay, so for the most part, I think we covered most of these. And for the Bgcse, we basically done for the most part. Just that Bgcse syllabus that we really need to crack down on. But we finished most. Yeah, I think we finished enough such that everybody could get an A. But of course, you have to practice. Okay, practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, I guess. So let's go to this paper. What is trying to come in? Deshaun, okay, Deshaun, I know Deshaun. Okay, now let's go to let's go to language. Which year that was? 2013. All right, so we, I love this one. Wait, we haven't finished this one yet. We haven't finished this one. Uh, based on the information presented in the passage, explain the conclusions that can be drawn about the distinct ways in which people's lifestyle were different and or even limited before our society became a highly technological one. I'll give you the answers to that, but I'll do it. I'll dictate it because um, I think we've been on that too long. So good. So we think we covered a lot enough such that you get a gist of what's going on. I'll just say the rest. Um, I'll just say the rest instead of writing it down.
So we moving on to something else.
We're moving on to the next question. Let me just finish.
What's on it?
Say it again. Say it again.
All of this for one question?
Say it again.
All of this for one question?
Yes, all of that was for one question.
No. What? Oh no, we don't part. And we already complete a question.
That was the. Give me one moment.
Freedom.
Give me one
The
moment.
freedom thing.
All right. So with this one, the rest of the things that we need to look at would be. Sorry. So we talked about the communication part, how and we compared the communication with now and then, right? And then, excuse me, sorry. They said use no more than 200 words. So when you're writing this, you have to be brief. Like they say, don't use no more than 200 words. Like listen to them. Like they would be reading this, especially this. I mean, calling it because they really don't want you to go over this criteria. At least
See,
go ahead. Yeah.
I didn't know y'all moving to the next question because when y'all started this, I was in here. So
Oh, you thought we said was on what?
freedom. But when I did come back, he was on one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we finished freedom. We finished that one. We finished that freedom from slavery thing, and then we went on to another whole um we went into um another passage that was on technological freedom. And we was talking about um how does the passage show based on information in the passage? How can we compare what happened back then to what happening now? And we discovered how much we is so far. This is
I
5.
started at Privacy of Lives.
Okay. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we discovered 9 ways so far. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna list off from my mouth verbally the rest of them. So the next one would be worship practices, right? I'm not going to write it down, but just listen. Like, so in the passage, they talk about worship practices, and compared to like how would we do it um before, but before we dressed up um on our day of worship and go to church. So we literally dressed up and went to church physically for spiritual guidance. Um, the next thing is that before it was not easy for us to learn the intimate details of the religions of different people, um, other than the ones sanctioned by our society. I like that one very much because they're saying that hey, before we couldn't know in detail the religions of other people that was different from us. And what was the reason for that?
The media wasn't involved.
Say it again.
You mean like in order for you to know, you had to go to the person and place
You have to go to
directly?
their place of worship. And who going into a Muslim mosque to ask any person about their religion? Like, but with the advancement of technology, if we're curious to say, man, I wonder what the Jews think. I wonder what the mosque with the people with the Islam think. I wonder what the Hindus think. We could um go watch a video and in the privacy of our own homes get a better understanding of their religion without them even knowing that we understand their religion and without anyone else even seeing us. You see what I'm saying? So there's that level of privacy that we get as well. Another thing is media responsibility. Um, Before, long time ago, we respected the media. We respected their judgment and we listened to them as if they were a source of authority. But nowadays, we raise a spectacle eye against the news, because we more and more we're seeing that they are commercial and that they're doing it for money, and um, whatever sells is what they're gonna emphasize. Um, and then formerly or in past times, um, the exploitation of children was not easy. Children were better protected, sheltered, monitored. But nowadays, um, with the advancement of technology, as was mentioned in the passage, let's see if we can get that. When they talked about it, how children are being, children are being preyed on the internet, and they wander into different sites to teach them about gambling and watching things they shouldn't watch, and establishing friendships with adults who are out of their minds, or we say immoral. Okay, so that was the
Immoral mean as in
immoral as in not moral, evil, wicked, perverts, not righteous, stuff like that. Um, so that was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 points that I wanted you all to consider. Now, in terms of how they would grade this, right? They would, first of all, they tell the examiners to estimate the number of words used. Okay, so that's the word that they use inside the answer key or the mark scheme. They use the word estimate, the number of words used, and they say that they're telling the examiner to stop crediting after 220 words. And what does that mean?
Stop writing after you reach 220.
No, they talking to the
Stop giving them like points and stuff after 220 whatever. Above 220, that is what we accept basically.
yes. Do you imagine how harsh that is? So in the what we call it, in the mark scheme.
Who wants to write this?
No, you don't know it. I mean, I ain't really going in depth. It's just um
Okay.
talky for right now. In the mark scheme, they tell us that we have to stop giving you all points after 220 words. So if you know it's good for you, stay within the 200 words that they say. Okay,
Evil.
otherwise you say, oh boy, I passed it. Yeah, man, I passed it. Knowledge, right? Man, I had like 20 points. Da, da, da. Okay, yeah. We only taking half that. So the rest of that, sorry.
I don't think it's evil. I think it's fair because they give you a word limit.
They give you the word limit, so we follow the word limit. A part of the exam is summarizing and being able to say things concisely. And I'll be honest, that's one of my weakest points. But it can be done. And so that's with improvement with language. Right? You have to be able to say everything, but concisely in a short way. All right, so that's important. So let me just tell you how they're gonna mark this. So they say that you're gonna get 0 or F if there's no understanding of the task, failure to understand and communicate what is asked. So they ask us to talk about how this people lifestyle was back then compared to now. If the candidates show that they have no understanding, right, no understanding of what's going on, they talk about something way off the wall, like it doesn't seem right, doesn't connect, like it clearly shows that they do not understand what's going on or what the question is being asked. Then they get 0 now or F. They get 0 marks. Now they start giving 1 to 3. That's a E, right? So 1 to 3. When we say 1 to 3, we're talking about that's out of 12. So we start giving 1 to 3. You get 1 to 3 if you explain at least one, all right, of a specific difference. So if you give any one of these, you will get anywhere between 1 and 3 points. And you need to give a specific difference, and you need to or if you provide, if you give at least one and it's fully developed and it's good and it's specific, or if you give 3 of these, but the way how you do it is sketchy, like it's sketchy. All you did was like take it directly from the paragraph and then
Just
stop it,
listen.
and you just list it, then they'll give you 1 to 3. Okay. So heavy lifting is evident ideas not clearly expressed, gross errors in language usage. That's 1 to 3. And then the next one is 4 to 5. That's going to be a D.
Which one you to get, Mr. D?
I didn't do this. This was 2001. I didn't do that.
I mean, like when y'all didn't, I didn't really good.
I didn't do this. Oh, you mean like when we? No, I didn't do the scratch thing. I didn't do the scratch thing. Um, no, I didn't. I didn't write it.
You want to do one similar like this?
Similar. I mean, similar. Yeah, similar. But that was when I was high school, man. But you mean how did I do? Sending me. Oh, okay. Oh, that was Michaela trying to get in for true.
Wow.
Sorry, Michaela. Gee. Uh, yeah. So 4 to 5 would be they explain at least three difference. So explain at least three differences. Um, fully. So if you give three of these differences and you explain them sensibly, you could get between 4 to 5. Or if you give six sketchy like you know points, like it's not fully developed. You just took from the paragraph and you just lift from the paragraph and don't really explain it, and you do six of them, then you get 4 to 5. 6 to 7 marks. Um, is C. That's if you explain fully um, four specific differences. Or you explain you explain four of these well. Like how I have these like this. You give four of them solid and you explain them well, and you get between 6 to 7 marks or to 12. And then gradually it extends. So if you get 8 to 10, that's if you explain at least five specific differences. You explain it well. And then I'm only going to write the details for 11 to 12 because that's the one I want y'all to get. So for 11 and 12, this is what this one should do. Must explain at least six specific.
So what 8 to 10 is?
8 to 10? Yeah, explain at least five.
Like a B or
Oh, thank you. B. But B and Y, but B. We on pretend like these don't exist, okay? These do not exist for y'all. These does not exist. This exists. There's only thing that exists for y'all. Must explain at least six specific differences. Very well organized and presented. Intelligent use of own words. Make sure remember that they like when you use your own words and not just slap up what the passage say. Of course, you could use the passage for quotations, but you didn't have to explain what the quotation mean and not just give it. So that's very important. Um, Language is accurate and enterprising. That means that it's it's when we say it's enterprising, that means like it's efficient. Like it there's no wasting in your words. Like whatever is there supposed to be there and it's there for a reason. Okay. So this is how we would grade that. Okay. Um, okay, so the let's go on to the next one. Can I move this? Okay, so you are a keynote speaker. So let's go to so you are a keynote speaker addressing a group of 12th graders at a graduation. write the speech you will make in which you seek to prepare them for the world they will enter after graduation, by reminding them of the different ways in which they are free and explaining the responsibilities that comes with each. In your response, you're expected to present ideas based on information from both passages, so you have to talk about both passages. Include one or two ideas of your own. Okay? So that's basically the challenge here for this one. But it's not really a challenge, it's really a thing, right? I mean, imagine you have an opportunity to speak at a grade 12 graduation. Now, mind you, you may not think that this is relevant, but I mean, when I was doing this, I didn't think it was relevant. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but I didn't when they gave us this paper in grade 12, because they gave us this paper in grade 12. When I was in grade 12 preparing for the Bgcse, they gave us this paper, just to practice. And I never knew that one day I would have to do an actual speech at a grade 12 graduation. I didn't know that, but then it ended up happening. So you never know. So you might be one of them called to do a speech at a grade 12 graduation, and you could use the same ideas from this. I didn't even remember this, so I wrote another speech of my own. But if I remember this, I probably would have used the same ideas. Okay, so in this, we have to use the ideas from each paragraph and each passage, and I want you to work with me, right? From passage 1, what would you tell the grade 12 students, like something that they could learn from? I mean, not that you're gonna tell them passage 1, but something that stands out to you when that you think would be relevant for 12th graders when you think about passage 1.
That architecture, like they're basically on their own.
Say it again.
Like they're on their own. If you
They're on
picture,
their.
yeah, I when you look back at passage one where they were like when they got free from slavery, they had to rely on themselves and how
Mm-hmm.
they would plan their future. So I could throw that into it, and they can apply that into the essay. Show them that when they graduate, it's time for them to make their own choices and rely on themselves. I guess.
Yeah, very good. Anyone else?
Question.
Go ahead.
This this thing speech. This this like for what ethnicity group?
Which ethnic group? They didn't say.
Yeah.
But they didn't say which one. We want to assume. I would assume that I'm speaking to um Bahamian students in terms of like at a regular grade 12 graduation. I wouldn't take it to graduation, say in Florida, or graduation in UK. I think the context is a Bahamian graduation, or a graduation in the Bahamas, I should say. So what ideas we could learn from passage 2 about being free?
Passage two talked about technology.
I wasn't here.
Okay, so passage 2 talks about technology,
Yes, sir.
and what is
What is something I would add about technology?
yeah.
Go ahead. I'll go after the person who wants to speak.
Um, like a warning.
How technology could be bad in some ways.
I would honestly, I would incorporate how it's expanding. You could use it to your benefit, as in, I would encourage them to, you know, go with technology, may start up a business or something, learn a trade or something. use it to do an education and all kind of stuff, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, if you notice carefully, there's a subtlety with this question, and you have to see it, right? The subtlety is this, and some people may miss this. They said, and they told you what to say, so be very careful, right? They told you what to say in the speech, so don't just think that, oh, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say. Like they're saying, write a speech in which you seek to prepare them for the world they will enter after graduation. So that should be somewhere in your speech, right? My goal is to prepare you for the world you will be entering, right? Like that should be somewhere in your speech, right? And then they tell you to do what? Remind them. So I am going to remind you of the ways you are free. Number one. Very important. That might be a subtle difference. I mean, a subtle thing that we don't see. You are going to tell them the ways that they are free. That's important. Then you're going to explain that along with that way you told them that they are free, you're going to explain the responsibility that comes with being free in that specific way. That's very important. So don't just talk about the responsibilities that come with being free, but talk about the specific ways that they are free first, and then associate it with the responsibilities. And so therefore, um, we are gonna have to draw a table with two columns, okay? Because we have to tackle the two questions that are asked. The first one is ways in which they are free, and the second one is the responsibilities that comes with being free. Responsibilities wrong. All right.
Facilitate. I have to write the columns like this in exams. No,
No, no,
right?
no, 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 no. Thank you. You writing a speech. All right. What
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
I used to say, you tell us to write like, what's the word is like before you write the essay, the plan,
A
like the
plan?
scene, like, yeah, the
Yeah,
scene, like,
yeah, yeah. That's like a plan. Yeah, yeah. So, right. But yeah, that's like a plan. So I would do this before I write the essay. To be honest, that's if honestly, that's if I have time, right? Because I remember all I can remember in the extended exam. I tell you no word lie. Just writing, 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 writing. Just moving, like almost without thinking, just moving. And so you have to be fast, or else you'll not finish the exam. All right. So be careful. As with all your exams, you have to be quick on them stuff. You'll be surprised how fast an hour is go. You know, be as fast, surprised. You know, and so you have to be moving with it. All right, A. So freedom. So we gotta talk about the freedom. Freedom to work or not to work. To pursue a livelihood. When we say livelihood, what do we mean?
a living.
Enjoying life.
Say it again.
Enjoying life.
No, livelihood. What does livelihood mean?
So
A li-
a way of living.
No, 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 sir. Livelihood. Livelihood is like a job, right? What do you do for a living?
I
Now,
said
that's true. So, or we can say freedom to earn money. It's the same thing. So this is coming from, um, so in your little plan, you're gonna say which passage is coming from, so you get context. What passage you think is gonna come from? Freedom to work.
one.
Freedom, yeah, passage A. Okay. Now, what responsibilities comes with that? The freedom to work and to pursue a lively of your choice and stuff like that. What responsibilities come from that?
Learn to save the money and how to spend it wisely over the.
Yeah, so you have to make sensible decisions. Let me tell you something. Hmm. Boy, boy, you think not having money is hard. Having money is way more difficult because it's like, what do you do with it and how do you manage it properly? You know, and it's even more nerve wracking. It's could become a real because then you have to think about a lot of things you probably wouldn't think about. Um, and it's difficult. Um, that's the thing about being free. So you have to make the decisions now about how you're gonna manage the money. So you can imagine, okay, you're working now and you made it's your first year, and let's say you say that you let's say you got very lucky. I hate to use the word lucky, but let's say you got very fortunate and your first job you making 100,000 a year, which is close to impossible, but let's just say. At the end of 100,000, at the end of the year, um, how much would how much, what percentage of that would you have saved? Um, and what you gonna do with the money you have saved then? And then what you do with the money you have saved all depends on your vision, right? And so the question is, what is your vision? And then the natural question is, okay, well, why is that vision? Do you want a big house or a small house? Do you want a big house such that you could have everybody to come over, or do you want a small house because you plan on traveling the world and you don't want to be you don't want to buy a big house because you're going to be in it a lot? Do you want to live in a farming island or do you want to live in Nassau? Do you want to live in a gated community or do you want to live in a more local community like Yamacraw or or Pinewood and and why? If you live very far, then you're talking about gas to and from always, so you got to make sure the gas is full and um and you got to make sure you have a decent car because then if you live very far, then you need to have a sensible car to be able to carry you to and from. Or do you want to live very close to where everything is so that when it's time to go to church, you don't have to travel 25 minutes to get to church, or do you want to live in a gated community because of the safety? Like that is a whole lot of questions, and then what percentage of money you gonna use for your own? What percentage of money you gonna give to mommy and daddy to help them or to be a gift to say, or what percentage you gonna give to your brothers and sisters and how you gonna help them out and what's gonna be your contribution to the family? How you gonna save in times of emergency? Like all of those questions now you have to be considering. Um, and that ain't easy, but that is not easy, because then the natural question with each of them decisions, the natural question you have to ask yourself is why? 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 And so it's not easy making those decisions. Um,
That's probably why we live in a society where we don't even have the ability to make those.
what you mean?
I mean, the first thing you're trying to do is survive. So why not survive? Like where the next food coming be over, but no nothing else.
Not everyone though.
Surely, but the majority.
A lot, a lot, but not a. I mean, come looking at these cars we driving on
With
these
the
roads.
boutique, I'd say 80% of Bahamians have less than $1,000 in their savings account.
No man, no man. I wouldn't say that.
I like stop by that
Less than 1,000, no man.
That's true.
easily.
Y'all are discouraging.
Easily.
No,
Listen to me.
not less
That's
than a
true.
thousand. No,
You are
Most of them.
discouraging the
no
young
man.
teens in this classroom. We want to be brave.
T, I
Listen.
challenge you. Go to ATM machines and SCM, little trash can, just
Oh, and
bag
look.
it up from different locations and set aside some time and just go through it, find the habits, and you'll see, hey, we don't make no money over here.
No man, not less than a grand, man. No, don't say that. Not less than a grand.
I mean, even the banks made that statement.
The bank made that statement.
Yeah,
I'll listen to them. What they say?
they say the majority of the public have less than $1,000 in their bank account,
That's not true.
That's crazy. Imagine using the bank anyway.
That's crazy.
and that's one of the reasons why RBC took off the interest rate on their savings account because majority don't have nothing to add up to, so
I
they
thought
take it off.
Wow. Wow. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad.
I think, oh,
is
that's
that
not me. That's not me. Oh, I'm
is
so.
that the reason why they removed the RBC? I mean Royal Bank of Canada from Carmichael Road.
I know. Okay, so this next one is we talk about freedom to choose whatever um job you want, freedom to earn money, but the responsibility that comes from that is you have to make the decisions of what you want to do with the money. You have to devise plans. Um, oh, and also the sense that not to devise plans. From others. Oh, this is another responsibility. Like um, because you have the freedom to choose whatever livelihood that you could do. Do not choose a livelihood that will have you stealing from people. You know what I mean? Like, or making money the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like drugs and whatnot.
Ethically wrong.
Listen, BT,
Morally wrong. Yes, sir.
you see Jonathan.
What happened to Jonathan?
Jonathan will be that drug dealers.
Jonathan want to be.
Talk some sense to this head.
Oh yes, Jonathan. Well, I can't go no
That's yeah.
Lionel. I can't go no Lionel.
Wow,
That's yeah.
Jonathan.
That's probably Lionel won't be the drug dealer.
No, that's Jonathan. You want to be like them? You want to be like them Mexican people that move to sell them drugs to them?
Only Lionel.
That's yeah. Welcome to the cap, sir.
On God?
Oh boy. Anyway, because you have the freedom to earn money and to choose whatever livelihood that you could do, the responsibility is you have to try to, first of all, make the right decisions about the money that you're gonna, how you're gonna use it, and the second thing is, develop ways whereby you will not be stealing and doing fraudulent activities.
But they didn't realize like our whole organism evolved around stealing.
What you mean?
Like we consumers,
Not impeding. I understand what you mean.
Man, y'all show people to
like
steal.
we take energy what other people make for themselves and use it as our own.
For example,
America.
Example, like
To America.
vegans, how they eat trees that make photosynthesis and use that energy as their own. I mean, that's an example. Same thing
Because you
with
never
meat.
speak.
that's
He
stealing.
trying
Same thing with meat. The
he
meat.
trying to sell Mr. BT in the
That's what you're
nicest
trying to
way.
do.
Mr. Basil, I
That's
thought he was coming with something smart. Don't come into. Oh wow, I am disappointed in you.
very
Y'all
disappointed.
didn't take that out of
He tells
context.
Mr. BT in the nicest way.
Oh my.
The only reason I said like vegans is because the
Mm-hmm.
plants mostly is produce the energy, like they the producers, and consumers usually eat them for their energy.
But not
If
only
you
vegans.
Yeah,
directly,
not only vegans.
So why you had to single out
Mr.
vegans?
I just was trying to give it more context.
Oh, no, no, no. You're trying it out. All right. So the second freedom is the freedom of movement. So the slaves did not have freedom of movement. They only had to stay localized. Um, the freedom to come and go as you choose, that's a freedom. Someone's trying to tell.
That's the lie.
The lie.
See, that's the
Anna Daddy
lie.
say that's all I think.
It ain't a double K. I mean, it ain't a double Y.
Try it.
I ain't gonna try that.
That's the devil right there. No.
I ain't gonna try. It's too late. Too.
They also have the freedom to pay tax.
Okay, so the freedom of movement. So not invading. So the responsibility that comes with that is that even though you have the freedom of movement to go to any country as you choose, the responsibility is that you want to try not to invade the space of others. Drive carefully, um, and stuff like that. The next one is freedom to own a home, freedom to own a property. And so the responsibility that comes with that is that you have to take care, right, of the home or property.
What about the financial burden?
Yes, financial burden. So very good upkeeping of it, and paying mortgages, etc. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling. All right, so that's the responsibility that comes from it. What passage would we get that from? Kill,
First, the
kill
first
passage.
one.
Kill passage. Yeah, that's passage. So notice for this one, notice how we mentioned the freedom, and the freedom, but we mentioned the ways they are free, and then we also mentioned the direct responsibility. So we actually are answering the question. Very important. Next one is D. Um, this one is the freedom of association, and that means that as the freedom to associate with people of their choice. Which passage do we get that from?
Freedom of
Wouldn't it still be
association.
on A?
Say it again.
That isn't that big?
That's A and B. Because A talks about the slaves and how they didn't have um freedom to associate with the people who they wanted to, because obviously you're a slave. So if you are in your master Johnny's house, and you have Master Smith's house, and they're separated, you can't go wherever you please to go to talk to the slaves from that one. You had to, you know if your master say you would go, then you would go, or whenever break time is over, or whenever, if they give you free time, then you would go. But after you're free, then shoots, y'all got party, y'all could do whatever, y'all could go wherever. And then passage 2 also hits this, because passage 2 talks about how, with the evolution of um, you know technology, how we are able to associate with people from all over the world. You know what I mean? And so that's passage A and passage B. Um, and so this one, um, the responsibility that comes with that will be what? Someone help me. It'll be what?
Careful who you call.
Be careful who you.
With.
Yeah, be careful who you are. Why you sound so low, Miss Cooper? You don't have
I don't know.
a low voice. So not endanger themselves and others.
Because I wasn't sure. That's why.
Yeah, I figured. In various,
Why you figured that?
because that's how you always do. If you want to show you lower your voice. You don't wanna get shamed. There's no problem.
That ain't true.
There's no problem. I mean, all of us here are good people for the most part.
Hold on, this exam for Bgcse for this.
Come on in.
Yeah, I know. You gotta be Sonic to do all that for 2 minutes.
It's not 2 minutes. I just kidding. They have either 2.5 hours or 3 hours. I gotta check them and see.
Wait, hold on. We have one of these in DC.
Y'all have reading comprehension.
Oh,
So you know, and y'all have similar questions like this. This one is it on steroids. So
oh, okay,
It's
okay,
more
yeah.
intense, you know?
it's more intense. So if you're
Very
able to do this, then yeah, you should be able to do the ones that you would have. Okay, now the next one is freedom of expression and speech. Now remember from the first paragraph. Oh, which paragraph this comes from? Before I.
First one.
the first.
Yeah. Y'all heard me able to say it. That's why.
No,
But no,
I
it's
remember because they used to the masquerade around the place.
yeah.
So
Yes, they had to pretend. But this not only from passage A. I mean B, also from passage. Not only from passage A, but also from passage B, because passage B talks about let's go back to passage B. Passage B talks about let's, I think we have every number to watch that. So passage B to go back to this guy. We talked about socialization, education, political awareness. Let me see something. I trying to figure out a specific instance of expression. Mm, Identity theft? No. Okay, so this one deals with exercise, how media helps with exercise, and watching television, stuff like that. Mm, what options? Yeah, just freedom of expression and speech. Because you're able to talk, you're able to socialize, you're able to find the person you love, you're able to speak with the friends you want to speak with. So also passage B talks about that too. So freedom of expression and be E. So they are to be careful.
What they say on the internet.
Yeah, very good, very good. So they could malign the characters of others. You know what I mean by malign, right?
No.
Like when you speak ill of someone, right?
Oh.
Say, you're wicked, you're you're dishonest.
listen, see, sometimes it's be true though.
I mean, it's uh I understand, but some things are better left not saying.
We gotta let them know though.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay,
let
you
them
can
know.
have the power of silence, eh? You know, you gotta really shut up.
Yeah. So damaging or even destroying, like if someone have a big nose, right? Or if you have a bumpy nose, like just because it's true, that doesn't mean it have to be said. You know what I mean? Like
Listen, see, you have to tell
you
them,
don't have
bro.
to tell no one they have a bumpy
No,
nose.
like you don't
You
have to
don't.
say it, but you gotta crack a joke and like put in the
No,
joke,
no, 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 no. Don't crack no
like
joke.
slip
Cause
it
him
in
to
there.
cry.
Yes, I'm saying.
Who put you on something to put you in say mother says you're for stinky. Girl, don't do that.
Listen,
Like
see,
that.
like say now y'all just cracking it, you be like, but your nose big, like something like that,
No,
like
no,
just
don't do
slip
that.
it in.
Then you can make it.
No.
I could tell Miss Cooper from the island for
I
true because if
telling
they
you,
just say that to Dallas, that would be a big
All
fight.
right,
right,
all
You
right.
really get dragged every day.
right. Well, going on. I thought saying that. Then
I ain't said
Like
it to you long
serious.
time.
Like
Like
stop doing that.
going on. I thought. Oh yeah.
Don't worry,
Because
nothing wrong with Anatolia.
soon down the line, you get back the right person.
Think
The
about the
right
right
person.
person. The right person.
The right person is the thing ahead of.
oh Jesus, y'all.
Miss Cooper, I can suggest staying in Fort Safe.
Okay, so the next freedom is so not everything that is true needs to be said. Um, you don't want to discourage anyone. You don't want to like okay, for example, you might know someone who has a limp. When I say a limp, they have a limp because they was in a bad accident. And so they limp around, and when they're in P, they probably look like a animal, or
Gremlin.
Penguin.
a penguin while they running. So what you can say? Why you running like a penguin? You didn't say that. You know what I mean?
Why saying a penguin?
Like one.
You're not gonna say that, even though it's true. You're not gonna say that. So that's freedom. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but you have with that freedom comes responsibility. You have to be careful of what you say. You know what I mean?
So you wouldn't say like that. Just ask somebody running like that. That's it. You may be like a penguin or whatever you call it.
No, you could see why. You can see the scars where they have the
But you
scars.
say, but we don't have to know. Like, supposed to cover up. We don't have to know they've been in an accident.
But you don't have to worry about that either. Mind the business that pays you.
Whatever.
Some people just don't look that way, because some people are insecure about them kind of
Yeah,
stuff, and you
yeah,
just get them off and do stuff like that. So just,
yeah. Don't
if
even
they
look at
ain't
them.
tell you, shut up. If they ain't come there and tell you their business, don't ask them.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Okay, let me stop being nosy then.
Exactly. That's maturity. You know what I mean?
Listen, there's some stuff you gotta ask though.
No, you don't have to ask. Why you need to know? Before you didn't know that. Did that
Just,
bother you? No.
I mean,
No, Miss Cooper. No, Miss Cooper. It's like saying to your
just
teacher, how
want to
come?
know.
It's like saying to a teacher, like they have big belly. You can automatically assume that they pregnant. It's kind of wrong though.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
wrong.
mean, my guess was correct one time. Like the teacher looked weird, and she
You
actually was
say
pregnant.
that? You say that? I hope you didn't say.
No, I didn't.
Praise
A
God.
classmate asked me like, "Why did you last?" Like, she probably pregnant. She actually was.
Okay. Okay, so you have the freedom of religion, freedom to worship as you wish, to choose a denomination or religion that you choose, and you also have freedom of belief, freedom to refrain from spiritual pursuits. Um, that means you have the freedom to be an atheist, agnostic, and those things start to stop. Because if you have the freedom to believe, you have the freedom also to not believe. Now, with that, um, you have to be responsible. And responsible meaning if someone believe X and you believe Y, don't go throwing rocks at them. Don't go, spray painting their buildings. If they believe X and you believe Y, then you all need to be able to live together without you kicking them and punching them and throwing rocks at them because of what they believe.
You got a point. You got a point.
So be careful. So advocating the morals of their religion. So if you believe something is something that is worth believing, then you have the responsibility to share it. If you believe that, Jesus Christ is Lord and Christianity is the thing that's going on for you, then you have the responsibility to share what you believe is true. Um, that's the responsibility that you have because,
That's
then
powerful.
yeah,
I
then
have
you
a question.
go ahead.
What if the person was a Satanist? Would you like still support them? No, not support, but like respect them.
I mean, you respect them as a human being. You always that's true fundamentally. You know what I mean, regardless of what they believe. Um, when I say like you have some people who believe that because someone is, say for example, homosexual, like you have to kick and punch them and throw rocks at them at the house and and mar their buildings. Like no, like you know, if that's what they believe, then you have that you are under no moral obligation to hurt them because of what they believe, right? Even though it's
But you got
different.
to tell them the truth, though.
I mean, you could tell them the truth. That's different from kicking and punching them and beating them bloody and marching on their cars and spray painting their buildings. That's totally different. Like you always tell the truth. You always say what is right. That's facts. But you never hurt the individual. You never go to that extreme.
But why
Sure.
trying to live for that person? Why don't just live for themselves?
Say it again.
I say, why would they be so invested in that person? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you have one life to live, and you trying to live that one life for someone else.
that's true.
No, it's when someone caught up in their belief, and then they won't part their belief into someone else.
Yeah.
What is basically what they see fit is right
Yeah.
and just. Which
I like that point that you made, Mr. Joseph Ethel. Like, um, you know, the greatest the greatest evidence of the truth of a fact is is um is when it's exemplified in the life. So, for example, you could talk about how to be honest, or let us say for example, losing weight, and you can imagine saying, "Oh man, it's good to lose weight, man. You need to lose weight." Da, 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 da. But then 430 pounds. Um, how does that really, like, you working backwards, right? And so what I say that to say that a lot is said just by living the life and not saying a lot, because persons could tell by the way you conduct yourselves you're different, and that speaks sometimes more volumes than any sermon you could ever preach. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people underestimate the power of doing rather than saying. A lot of people like to say, few people like to do. I think that doing is uh is a whole bigger sermon than actually saying. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. So advocating the morals of their religion and worship in freedom, practice religions, religious sensitivity. You must live in a world where you understand that not everybody is gonna believe what you believe. That's just straight up. Not everybody gonna believe what you believe. So don't kill yourself if someone don't see the same way as you see. Right? Just pray for them and hopefully that they would see the way that is right. Not necessarily the way that you see it, but the way that is right. Because you might even be wrong too.
I was gonna say for real, but then you say the way that's right.
Reflect positive behaviors and beliefs that will move the country ahead. I like this one because um, you wanna adopt a philosophy that would bring a forward movement of the nation instead of a divisive front. And so you want to, even though you believe one thing, another person believes the next thing. Um, there's certain things that you all do have in common,
Excuse me.
and 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 that is you live in the same country, and you have the same enemies to fight, which is crime, poverty, you know, homelessness, and those things,
Radiation.
radiation, um, and stuff like that. So, you know, put them differences aside and move forward towards those things that kind of really matter. When it's all said and done. Avoiding ridiculing. That's very important. You don't want to ridicule no one, right? Avoiding ridiculing or imposing restrictions
How
on.
much more are we doing?
It's the last one. On others with different. Uh,
It's 907.
yeah, I know. I don't teach that in this place, so um, that's why. Or discriminating.
No, I'm trying to rush you. I'm sorry. I just want you to.
Okay,
I wasn't trying to rush you.
okay, no problem.
Oh no.
Discriminating against
We
them.
know she was trying to rush.
She wasn't. She just trying to keep me up to date. I think we do one more because it's 9:08 and we supposed to we could end with 10
I have
minutes.
to iron my clothes because today I was busy with sports
Okay,
day. So like, yeah.
okay. So how does that how does
Guilty task.
how does that um how does that interfere with our class? Like how
Like you trying to do another one. This like you
no
know.
how does that no, I don't know, like it's funny. Oh, you funny. You iron class off. You iron the clothes off the class. It's crazy.
I got a lot to. I
Okay,
got a lot.
so passage. This is from passage. Really, passage two, passage A and passage B. The last one we'll look at is freedom to obtain an education. That one is from passage A and passage B. I think both of them hit at that because passage A was about the slaves and how they was caught up in that slavery thing, so they couldn't pursue education that they want to. And then passage B talks about how with the advancement of technology, we could have online classes, get online degrees and stuff like that. Oh my! Speaking about online degrees, right? I watched the. I don't know if y'all saw this clip, but I watched one of my friends, my best friend, really. He sent them on Facebook about someone. It's a little clip about this guy, right? Who got a, a, a online electrical certification. So he got a certification from some place, some institution online. This is electrical now. Remember this. So he got his electrical, uh, certification online, and so he comes to the site, right, to actually do the practical work now. And so, he have his chest stick out, saying that I'm the boss. I got my whole electrical online course. I finished that, right? So he going chest out, and then all the wires. Anyone saw this video? Oh, I'm the only one who saw it.
Most likely.
I
Can you
love
send me?
What video?
That's what they.
Hey,
Can you send me, please?
what, that video?
Yeah.
What video are we talking about?
You want to see it, Ricardo?
Which video?
Please. Me too, please. Everybody.
What's your name?
Can you just show us the video on
Which
class?
one?
Right.
What video are we talking about?
I can show it, man. I have to show it. I can show it. After class, I can show it. Whoever need to go, they could go. But my goodness, also.
I ain't gotta go out and see this video.
But I thought you had the iron clothes.
I do, but
Mr.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
Mr. Badid, isn't that like usually how it is? Even after you finish your like bachelor's, that only account for like 40% of what you could actually be doing in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I can be honest, the the degree that I got from UB with maths. Oh my goodness, they prepare me for way more than I could. Like
Do you have a
Well, Mr.
PhD, Mr. Petit?
That's maths though.
man, they did well. I ain't gonna lie.
Mr.
I don't know
Petit,
PhD. No, I
I
did
thought you did. Like, I was so convinced that you did the other day.
not PhD. Now that I get a PhD, I need to do how much more years of school? 2 years in masters, and in 4 years, I have to do 6 more years of school to get a degree.
What? All of that just for a certificate?
Well, and prestige, as well as the
So what? So basically, we could be like in school majority of our lives trying to get like a sensible job there.
And then when you reach, you still need
That might not even be back to that.
exactly.
That sounds so depressing.
Yeah, it's called a bubble, Nancy.
Which I am not a part of.
And their personal development as well as the development.
So what, you graduate when you're 35? Like 35, you leave in school to set up a job?
Yeah, to look for a job, right? Okay, so taking advantage of the right. So freedom of education, that's the last one we're talking about. And that's basically taking advantage of the right to education. Seeing education as even in this one, they still have it, but that's true. Seeing education, this I was trying to explain to Nancy yesterday. Nancy, seeing education as a what, Miss Joseph?
A lifelong pursuit.
A lifelong pursuit.
You think so?
Did you sound like Neil when you say that?
I sound like who?
Like Neil.
He gave me a whole long lecture yesterday about education. I was like, it's not needed.
Nancy say not everybody built the same.
I can send it to you.
Say what?
I sure have the classes with me.
I say I'll send it to you.
Send what?
The thing you remind me of. The public speaker you remind me of.
Who Neil?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. What do you mean that guy? He's that's the physics guy, right?
Yeah, the astrophysicist.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all we'll be looking at tonight. Those how much that is? A B C D F G. There's more, but we won't consider them tonight. But that's all we're gonna be dealing with. So look how much we could get from those two passages, right? That's why you always write a plan. Okay? You always write a plan, and the reason why you write a plan is because you want to make sure that your mind is you want to make sure that your mind is ready, because if you have this plan now by the time you write your essay, you should be good.
It's a speech, and I sure half everyone will be asleep by the third sentence.
No, they won't be asleep. They won't.
Ain't excited. Ain't sound like mine, even though I got mine's far off. At least mine is entertaining.
Okay. Did you include all these in your one?
It's like a summary of this. I didn't go into like how you have all of the detail. I just brushed over what I think, based off the part of the two passages that I think that they should have. Like,
okay.
Yeah. I did follow your steps though, but by mentioning the difference and stuff like that, I just probably didn't go into much detail. Did you even read it?
But you see how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. Mr. Did you read it?
I read it yet.
Wow.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Planting.
Let me
The next